Welcome to the I Empower podcast, where stories become art and art becomes important reminders. Each episode dives deep into the story of a special person who discovered their power against all odds. All of the inspiration that comes from each episode's story is then memorialized into a single unique painting that can be purchased in limited print quantities. On today's episode, we're talking to Kourtney Benson, founder and CEO of Seventh and Bond, a clothing brand that she started in her very own living room. Her story takes a quick turn when her son is diagnosed with autism, and she soon discovers that she has a new purpose in life. Let's take a listen.
I realized he is the change agent, and I'm just his voice.
I'm so excited to have you, Kourtney, on today's episode. You have a brand called Seventh and Bond, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes. And I'm really excited to have you today because we actually went to school together. As a refresher, you were captain of the varsity cheerleading squad.
Yes, that was me.
When I was when I was a freshman.
Yes, I was the captain, co-captain with Allison Everhart my senior year. Yes, I was. Yes. That was to be in high school again.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy. So I was a freshman on the JV squad, and I distinctly remember you. Like, I don't think I could have ever forgotten you. Even if, like, we weren't friends on Facebook, I know that I would have remembered Kourtney Benson because, like, you just exuded this, like, leadership quality. Like, you commanded the room. You commanded the room when you walked in. And, like, I just remember we went to cheer camp. I think it was NC State.
Yes.
And you just was like, I was like, oh, my gosh, I want to be her. Like, I want to be her. So... And that, to me, like, makes me not surprised that you are where you are. Like, it's
really?
It's
oh
amazing.
My God,
yes.
So much to me. Like, it really does. Oh, my God. You're making me blush so much. I'm going to go and, like, crawl underneath my desk.
No, don't. That's why I was, like, fangirling when you said that you would come on today's show.
Oh,
like,
yes. Totally.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about... you and your son just wrote a book, right?
Yes, we did.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Oh my God. So I'm going to take my glasses off for this. Let me get real with you. Sorry, I have bags. I haven't been sleeping.
It's okay.
I'm a mom, Okay, so a little backstory. Let me give you some backstory first. There is a pizza place that we go up the street to once a week. It's his favorite spot. It's maybe about 5 blocks up, but it's walkable 5 blocks. It's where everybody comes to eat. It's like the area that everybody is in, or whatnot. So they have outdoor seating. And I'm always, when I go somewhere and eat, I always let the waitress or waiter know that he is on the spectrum to give them a chance to understand and to adapt. It's only fair. They don't know. It's like, I consider it a invisible disability. That's the way that I look at
it. Yeah.
So because he cannot talk, like most, he's not verbal as far as vocally, but he is verbal in other aspects. Sometimes he may speak differently. Like if he gets really overwhelmed, he may jump on his tippy toes, flap his hands. And if you research it, those are, and I hate to use the term normal, but those are characteristics of children that there are some characteristics for children that are on the spectrum, right? But if you don't know that and you don't understand, you may think it's weird. If you've never encountered what they consider a quote unquote meltdown before,
right,
you may think like, oh
he's
my God, kind of like
something.
What's going on? It may take you aback for a second, right? Because it even has taken me aback. The first time like a major one happened, I was like, what? Right? So he was getting a little excited. They have outdoor seating. It's a lot of space. We love this place. They know he's on the spectrum. They cater to him. They absolutely love him there.
Aww.
This is why I love this neighborhood. So a little girl called him weird several times.
Aww.
And that's not the first time it's happened, but this time I think he sensed something, and I politely got up and I said something to the lady. I said, well, her response wasn't what it should have been.
Right.
Her response should have been an immediate shut it down. And because she was so loud, she should have made the little girl come and at least apologize to me, right?
Yeah.
She didn't. She kind of tried to get her like to be quiet or kind of like lower her tone. It just wasn't good. It just was not okay.
Right.
So I politely got up and I let her know. I said, he's not weird. He's on the spectrum, but whether he's on the spectrum or not, just because someone looks, acts, or sounds different than you does not mean that they're weird. And you may need to educate you and your child on what that is. And she was embarrassed, rightfully so. She offered her apologies and I told her, it's okay. Unfortunately, I'm used to this by now, knowing how to maneuver. Like one of my good friends, she goes out to eat with us a lot and she's like, how do you handle some of the looks? I'm so used to it. It doesn't even bother me.
It's
that's not even something that I should be saying, right? It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm used to looks. It's not okay.
No.
So it bothered me. It bothered him. And that's not, like I said, it's not the first time. But I think what it really was is that he understood something wasn't right.
Right.
So I pondered on what is it that I could possibly do to change or at least help change how we look at people with disabilities.
It just gave me cold chills. Oh my gosh.
And I just pondered, and like, to follow me, you know that I have a passion. I love clothes. That's something, if you know me, I've always been into fashion since high school. Like that was a thing for me. But I also have a love for people.
Right.
And I realized a lot of times in high school, people, and you probably didn't know this because you were a lot younger than me, I would get picked at, Jackson, leave that alone, please. I would get picked at for being the loud one or the over-spirited one or whatever. But I realized that my purpose was to speak up for others that maybe not have the voice, and that very person was going to be my son.
Oh my god!
So I was already preparing for this. I know, right? Even I pinch myself.
Oh my gosh! I mean, my arms are just like
whoa, like
yeah.
And at first I used to hide him because I wanted to protect his feelings, but that's not fair. It's not. And the more and more we learn this community and the community learned him, I realized he is the change agent and I'm just his voice. And like even now, when we walk through the neighborhood, hi, Jax, people, I mean, it's unreal. And I try to go live every day so you guys can really hear it in the background. Yeah. You can hear them saying, hi, Jax, or Mickey Mouse ears, like to him. And he automatically is like, hi, smiles, whatever. They have adapted to his way of communicating, right? So I kept saying to myself, but what is it? What can I do specifically for him, right? Seventh and Bond is for me. Yes, it helps me fund things and build generational wealth for him, but what can I do specifically for him? And it hit me one day. It was like, write a kid's book. But I didn't know what to call it. I'm like, what am I going to call this thing, right? I'm like, okay, as I said, if you follow our journey on Facebook, every morning we go have breakfast in Dunkin' Donuts. That's what we do. God has blessed me to be able to leave my 9 to 5 because he knew I needed to step into this purpose. This is my purpose that I'm in now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what can I do? And I'm talking in the air, and I'm looking at Jackson walk in front of me and just gleefully. And I'm just like, what do I call this, right? And I'm talking to him and I was like, Jax, do you want to write a book? And he was like, yeah. I said, okay, well, what are we going to call it? Right? And he's just kind of singing and and I'm like, well, and I've never told this story to anyone, so you are the first to hear this.
I love it.
So I'm like, I said, Jax, I call him Papa. I said, Papa, help mommy out, right? And I'm like, just talking to him, we have our own little lingo. Like, he's singing, he's counting, he's saying blast off, all his favorite things that make him go. And as we're crossing the street, he says, come on. I said, okay, I'm coming. He says, I Jax. I said, I Jax. He's never said that. But we practice his name, I Jax. And I said, I Jax. And then he goes, weird. And I said, you're not weird. And I said, well, what made you say weird? And he says, weird. And I said, well, what makes you say weird? And I'm just looking at him. Little do I know, Jackson, can you turn that back on? Thank you. Little do I know, he's really telling me the name of the book, because then as we walk a little bit further, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was like, I'm not weird, I'm just Jax. And I was like, oh my God, that's it! And I immediately called my best friend, who also has written a book herself. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't even know she had texted me this at this time. She had texted me, hey, you should write a book for Jax. And I text her back. I was like, oh my God, I just said I've been wanting to do it, but I just didn't know what to call it. So I don't speak on things until I know what I'm going to do with it.
Right.
And she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad I said something to you about it. I said, no, that's it. That is confirmation. I'm going to do it. It's a wrap. It's it. And I said, you know what I'm going to call it? I'm not weird. I'm just Jax. And she said, oh my God, she had to stop and start crying, because she was like, that's it. That is it. That is going to be the most beautiful thing. I immediately came right back home and I literally wrote that book with him sitting right here next to me in like 30 minutes. And I read him every page. We looked at graphs together. Whichever one he would point to, that's the one I chose. And I basically told a quick story, but so meaningful through his eyes.
Wow.
Because I think it's so important that our children have advocates, but have advocates in other children. Absolutely. And we have to teach them that, though. We have to teach them that it's not okay to let somebody else mistreat them. You stand up for them if they cannot stand up for themselves, right? Or you go get an adult and tell them this is not right. Because, he's getting older, and I've homeschooled him along with his therapist, but he's going to school in another year. And I can't be there every step of the way. So I hope this book would inspire somebody to be his friend.
Yes.
Or be someone's friend like him. Right. I'm getting emotional. Sorry.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I'm over here like wiping my nose.
So, that's how the book came. And now, yes, Seventh and Bond is doing great. It's on autopilot. It is very successful, right? But now my purpose is here, right? And now it's like I want more of this. And so now, and this is only one other person knows this. This is another first that the public will hear. I am working with some people here in Charlotte to actually get a sensory park built, a public sensory park.
Oh my gosh.
Because they deserve a space.
Yes.
They deserve a space to be safe. They
again.
deserve, I know, girl, listen. It's crazy how it's taken me 37 years to figure out why I'm here. And when you figure it out, it's a sense of freedom. It's a sense of magic. it's just another high that you wake up with every day, because every day you were walking in exactly what you were here for. And to be able to actually, my purpose drive through my kid is a whole nother bond, right? Because not only is it a job, yes, I've turned it into something for him that will be his the rest of his life.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
it will be on the book will actually be on Amazon. He will get 60% of the royalties, and it goes all to him.
Awesome.
And I want him to have something of his own. Um, that of course I helped him build, because what I envision is when he starts to grow, I want the books to grow with him, because eventually I want him to be able to take the pen and paper and do it himself.
Oh my gosh.
You
This
know,
is so
so it's just
amazing.
like, come on, kid.
Yes.
Like
I feel like, oh my gosh, I was just gonna like touch on that, but like this is, I am just I don't even have words. Like I'm speechless. Like this is completely
I
changed. Like oh my goodness, like this is huge.
yeah,
Oh
I used to be kind of beat myself up about him,
yeah,
because I used to think it was something that I did, but really it's a gift that keeps on giving. And I'm like, how could I have ever been sad when the doctors first said, well, it's a high probability that he may not speak? And to think, you never know where they're going to go on the spectrum. Some kids can't live by themselves ever,
right.
and they are still some of the most bright, brilliant children, and I often worried about that, because I know none of us live forever. As much as I would want to live forever, to be there for him every step of the way, I know that that's not reality. So my goal in life is to build something that will outlive me. So then when I go on to my next life, he's living like I'm still here. He
Right.
has that bubble, he has that village, he has the tools. And of course, with it is a certain level of financial security as well, to be able to provide certain things for them, and the better of the things. And I've just been blessed to be able to have other things that have afforded me to do that. A lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of, working nonstop. And I still do, but because my passion is through him, like it's not work anymore,
Yeah.
for me. And it's tough, it's tough, girl. Because
Yeah.
some days they don't go to sleep. It's some days he doesn't go to
Right.
sleep. And I literally am like this, like somebody, I'm about to die over here,
Yeah.
but we make it. And one thing that he teaches me is he teaches me resiliency. Like, the boy is beyond resilient. He has been defying odds. Every time he goes see his specialist and they do his 6 months evaluation, they are like, wow,
Oh my
the little boy
goodness.
that wouldn't even look at you in the eye and would not even respond to you.
Oh
Like,
my
you could
goodness.
be making the loudest noise, screaming his name loud, waving in front of his face, and he's like this. To now, he's engaging with you. He's responding to you. I don't know if you heard the video I posted of him asking me if I was okay.
I don't
And
think I've
he's like,
seen
"Are
that.
you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I okay." And it's the
Aw.
cutest thing, because now we know that he's comprehending, and it just takes
Yeah.
time. Every kid moves on their own, and I had to stop comparing him to other children. That's a big thing, and let him be him. He's gonna tell me what he's ready for, and part of being a good parent, is listening to your kid,
Yeah.
and listening to the verbal and nonverbal things. I'm a way better communicator now, way better, because you have to now get on people's level, right? And people ask me, why are you so successful at Seventh and Bond? Because I treat it just like I treat him. I get on people's level and talk to them. Are you going to say hi? I get on people's level and talk to them, and he has made that part of me so much better and allowed me to be gifts to other people because I know how to help them, right? Or inspire them or move them or make you laugh. Like, y'all know I'm silly, or whatever it is. I try my language. I try to have a language of comfort, of acceptance, of love. And it takes a special person to kind of know how to move, and it's a gift and a curse, like it is. But I've learned to embrace it. And I thank God for it every day. It has helped me so much professionally and personally, it just really has.
Oh my gosh. This is I'm literally speechless. Like, I don't even know. But I did have a few questions that.
Okay, go ahead. No, let's go with the questions. I don't run off anything. You'll have me.
No, I'm so thankful that it worked out that way, because I think we had talked about this this podcast before you announced the book. And so I seen that and I was like, I gotta ask her about it. Like, I need to,
totally.
That was supposed to be my icebreaker, girl. And this is just completely shifted.
Let's go.
So I had a few questions. So one of the things that you talked about, you talked about it being a struggle. So what has been your stickiest struggle that stuck with you on this journey? And I want to, we can talk about Seventh and Bond, but also I just really feel like you said, like what you had with Seventh and Bond has like made this new thing possible. So how do you?
Well, I think one struggle that I had, because when you're in business and you're doing it on your own, entrepreneurship is not easy, right?
It is not for the faint of
heart.
It is
like, oh my God, right? It's like, I'm the photographer, I'm the marketer, I'm the accountant, I am the shipping and handling, I am the designer, I am the model, I am the editor, I am like
everything.
The creative director, I am the designer, I'm the person, I'm the trash, I'm the maintenance man, I'm all that, I'm IT, I'm customer service, like you're all of this, right?
And I gotta be a mom too, like
you gotta be a mom too. You gotta find time just to have a shower for like 3 seconds alone without some little feet coming saying, Mom, whatever. Like, oh my God. And then let's not talk about, after you have a kid, your body changes. Like, like, what the hell? And like I'm 37, so I'm looking like I didn't have that little line there before. Like,
where'd that come from?
And it's like, sis be tired. My son be hanging from the chandelier. I could care less, like as long as he's not hurting himself, because I don't have the energy, right? Okay, so with all of that said, emotions are always kind of like, right? And the toughest thing is sometimes where you feel like you really should be getting support from, you don't. And being accepting of that, right? But also, it's like this. And I tell people all this all the time. I had to reprogram myself and realize, okay, there are several reasons why people may not support you, right? But it's none of your business. Okay? It is absolutely none of your business, because if it was your business, they would be supporting your business, right? So because they're not and they choose not to, that is their personal preference. And just take note and keep it moving. See, me, I was upset about it for a minute.
Yeah, I can totally like I would find myself, paying attention to who likes my post, who shares it, who comments on it, and I'm over here getting my feelings hurt
because I'm like, feelings like, I know you didn't. Girl, you were sitting next to me in school and we were sharing math answers on tests. I know you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl,
you can't even give me a like.
You're supposed to be my cousin. You're trying it, right? But Like, it's not our responsibility to make people see why we're worth being supported. It's not. It's just not. Because either you get it or you don't. And you can't argue your value with people who don't see it or may not understand it. And you know what? You can't crucify them for that. All you can do is do what you do, because just because those 10 people over here, you feel like you should be supporting me, there's 10,000 over here that already is.
Yep.
And I had, girl, that was the hardest. Listen, I was like, I done supported this heifer. I done supported this one over here. Like,
yeah.
Right? Like, but I meant what I said. One of my little TikToks had like, I think like 14,000 views. I meant what I said. Yes, I am gonna act funny, because all I wanted was a like, comment, and share. You was acting funny too. So guess what? I'm gonna keep that same energy with you. That's it. It's gonna be the same. It was the hardest thing. I had to realize, you know what? Match their energy. They pay you no mind. You don't pay them any mind. Because meanwhile, sis, you over here having $5,000 days. Like, what are you mad about?
Yeah.
Like, why the hell are you in your feelings right now? I had to really, girl, I was so mad one day. I done cursed some folks out. I am not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna hold you up.
Yep.
I have told them, oh, no, you didn't. You know what? After I did, and I had to realize that is not okay.
Let me go over here. Let me not do that anymore. It's just
Let
not,
me put this
it's not healthy.
You know what I mean? Let me
Yep.
say, because you missing something else over here, and eventually they'll see it. And if they don't, they weren't meant to be a part of that piece of your ride, of your journey, right? And it's okay. You know, it's the same for anybody else. It's like, okay, there's a beginning and ending to everything. In certain parts of your life, everybody can't go, you know? And that's fine. It doesn't mean either party is right or wrong, even though I'm still feel like, you know, me personally, keep it 100. I still feel like family should support family that is trying to do something. I just really do. I think friends who genuinely, I think you should repost people. I think you should put whether it's family, friends, or whatever. If I support you, I feel like, yes, you should support me too. It's free, right?
Right.
A repost, a comment, a like, all of that is so free. But if you don't, I'm not going to get in my feelings behind it. I'm just going to keep it moving and appreciate the support that I do have, but sis.
I love it. That's a difficult level to get on when you get to that point. But it's like you said, it's so much when you can just be like, ugh. It's a lot of stress off of yourself, unnecessary stress when we got a whole bunch of other things to worry about.
Because you know what it is, and this is plain and simple. You cannot expect yourself out of other people.
I feel like that is probably one of the hardest things, though. Ooh. It's so hard.
Because it's like, but why can't you see? What's so hard about doing this thing? Like, is it me? And it's just, we're different. People are different. And that's why it's so important to find your tribe, and it's okay that different people, you have different relationships with people for different reasons, right? And you just have to understand, okay, I love you, but they may not understand what you're doing, and that's okay. Again, it ain't none of my business. It's none of my business. You do you. You do you. Wave by the billboard when you see me on it, though.
Yeah.
Be like, I know who that
There's
is.
There's gonna be a day when they're gonna be like, dang it. I should have, I remember when.
Day, right. Like, it's okay. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah. She used to reply to my comments on Facebook, and now, I can't. But yeah, that's awesome. That's great advice. Like, really and truly fantastic. If you could remember, how would you describe your ambitions as a child and how you saw yourself and what were you capable of as a person?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I was always ambitious, right?
Did you think you were going to be an entrepreneur? Like, did you always have
No.
that creative, like, I'm
Well,
going to be
okay.
my own boss
I
type?
wanted to be a model
Huh?
for
Okay.
Calvin
I mean,
Klein.
yeah, I could totally see that.
I wanted until they told me I was too short, and that's why I developed Seven the Bond. They told me I wasn't what they were looking for many moons ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to. I always wanted to design clothes, right? I wanted to be in the fashion business somehow, but I also wanted to be a lawyer.
Wow.
My dream was being a big time corporate lawyer, going in there and suing the hell out of anybody that crossed whoever my client was. That's how I envisioned my life. I envisioned myself coming in there with a sharp ass suit on, tailored with some high pumps on, with a badass suitcase. Okay.
Yes.
And it was a room full of men. I always envisioned myself coming in there like I run this shit. Okay. And coming in the boardroom, sitting it down and being like, okay, what's up? Like, I'm here to represent my client. What y'all got? Give me your best shot.
Right.
That was my dream. And it kind of changed over time. Then
You used to be a cheer coach, right?
Huh?
You used to be a cheer coach, right?
Right. I was a cheer coach in Florida. And while I enjoyed that, like those are my babies. That was my way of kind of reliving my past, right? Like kind of seeing if I still got it, and
if
I
it
still
was your
clearly had it. You know, I took my girls to nationals several times. Shout out to my girls in Jacksonville, Florida. But then my dad, shout out to my dad. My father is a recovering alcoholic. So he was in and out of my life for a while. He got clean right after I graduated high school. And he went and got clean, and we developed the most beautiful relationship ever, right? And he is very into politics. I always had a love for governmental things, right? And quite didn't understand kind of where it came from because my mom is like a school teacher, but she's into like reading and writing. Like that's her zhuzh. She can write like nobody else, right? And teaching. That's her thing. That's her God-given gift, right? Um, but he started teaching me about more and more about politics. And I'm like, I really like this. And then I started thinking about when I was in school, when I was in A&T, and thinking about like all of these governmental and policy courses I was taking in classes. And I'm like, I really like this stuff, right? And so I decided to go back to school to get a macroeconomics degree with a minor in policy, public policy. And I'm talking to my dad, and my dad is like, why don't you run for office or help on a campaign or something?
Wow.
So we're talking, and when I tell you I'm in it, the classes that I'm taking are like writing laws, dissecting them, like learning really like the real public policy, like how this thing really work, right?
Right.
Who these people are, who's in office, and boom, Barack Obama is up for his first term. And look, I was born on election day. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's
I was
like your
born
sign.
on election day, right? Like it's totally right? So I'm like, oh my God, what? Mind you, I went to Chicago the week of that. So I got to experience the whole like election night. Like, I mean, it was my wildest dream ever. Like, it's just crazy, just
Holy
mayhem,
shit.
right? So I'm like so into it, and I'm like, maybe I should like really maybe align myself to maybe run for office, right? So then Barack Obama's next swing around, I actually volunteered in Florida for his campaign and was on the ground. Like we were on the ground every day on our phones. We were putting yard signs up. I actually got to sit behind Michelle Obama at her speech. I was right, I could touch her.
Touch her hair.
And again, it was literally days before my birthday because it was the last week before. It was like the voting week. Like, I mean, it's almost like it was written, right? It's
oh
like
my
written
gosh.
for me to be in politics, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, maybe I should just go into politics, you know? I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, and then I graduate and then I'm working at United Healthcare, which I just left from. I worked there 10 years. And it was great. Like it was flexible. And I just was kind of like, you know, I'm thinking about it. I don't know, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And then I don't know. I went back to clothes. I went back to like my thing. But those are like the things that I thought I was going to be first.
Yeah.
Before being an entrepreneur. Like I think entrepreneurship is my wildest dreams.
So did you have like an aha moment where you were just like, okay, like this is just, you know, I have all these great opportunities, these great ideas, but then what flipped that switch or lit, you know, sparked that bulb?
I said that at first I wanted to carry like cosmetics, right? Like lashes and things like that. I was like, okay. So then I was like, you know, when you're destined to do certain things, it'll keep poking at you. And it kept saying, clothes. You know, you want to do clothes. Hey, you want to do clothes. You know, and I'm like, whatever. So yeah. I'm like, well, what am I going to call it? Right. And, you know, I'm originally from New York. So, and Soho is one of my favorite places to be. If you go to New York, you're typically going to find me in Soho or the Meatpacking District, one of the two. So I'm getting dressed one morning and I'm always watching MSNBC. I'm an old lady. And the reporter said, I'm in New York City on 7th and Bond.
I love it.
And I was like, that's it.
That's it.
And I was like, oh my God. And then I realized, I said the number 7, my birthday is on the 7th. And I have a connection with lifestyle and fashion. Like, you know, I love to live well. Like, it just kind of like,
just
and it's like the cross street of where lifestyle meets fashion, like the essentials for every season. Like, oh, girl, you're on to something, you know? And I was like, oh, and remember, take that, Calvin and Klein, take that, The Gap.
Yes.
You know, and that kind of how it was. It was like, there you go. And it just fell on me like a ton of bricks. It's like, and I'm so happy that I'm never afraid to just do stuff, you know?
Right.
And sometimes it's to my detriment, right? Like, Lord, listen. But I think it has helped me in the long run because I move on it. And I don't let it wait and I don't let it pass me by. I move on it and I figure it out and I make it work. And so far, everything that has come to me like that thus far that I've wanted to do has worked. So I have these aha moments like all the time.
All the time, like just full of them.
Because my brain never shuts off, right? I'm always in creative mode. And like, I'll just wake up, even for my friends that have businesses, I'm thinking of stuff for them all the time. Like, I'll be like, oh my God. And I'm texting them like, I know you're probably asleep, but this is what you need to do. Right. And they'll wake up tomorrow and they'll be like, oh my God, this was the $1 million idea. Thank you so much. Oh my God. It just comes like, and that's, again, my life is like a web. Everything is starting to connect now. Like, because I was a cheerleader, you have to be creative. And I was loud. I need to be a spokesperson for my son, like, you know, and for other people. And like,
it's amazing how like life truly sets us up for what we're destined to be. Like,
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
amazing.
Like, I literally have been prepared and pruned for my now, right? And it's like, now it's like, some people are like, oh, you've only been in business for a year and you're able to leave your job. I'm like, no.
I've been in business. This started a long time ago. That
This
took a lot
had
of work to
been
get here.
preparing because even before Seventh and Bond, right after I had Jackson, I had postpartum. I was 218 pounds. I didn't like me, right? And I'm only 118, maybe 122 on a wet day. Like, I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. And like, can you go out? Can I finish? Thank you. Working out saved me. And I just started getting other moms to work out with me and paying me to do it.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
And then I started having workout classes. Like, and then like, it just, people just started following me more, like, yo, we need more of you. And then I started working out on Facebook too. Like, I mean, it just,
it's
again,
like in your,
it's like
in your blood.
It's just a web of things. And if you just sit back and you look at the skill sets that you've been given, and like the things, everything you go through shapes you, right? And you realize that, and then you're like, oh my God, this is it. Oh my God, this is it. This is it. This is why. Like, oh, now it makes sense.
That's amazing. What's the best piece of advice that anyone's ever given you?
My father. It was two things that he said to me that I will live with for the rest of my life. He said, the first thing he said was, self-honesty is most painful, yet most rewarding, because no one can use anything to try to hurt you because you already know yourself, forgiven yourself, and accepted yourself. And I was like, oh my God, like, duh, like, you know. He's like, people can come at me and say, oh, you were an alcoholic. He's like, yeah, and your point? Right. Like, I know this about me, but I also fix myself as well, you know. Shout out to him. He's been clean 18 years. Like, shout out to him. I know, right? I'm so proud of him.
That's amazing.
That was a piece of advice he gave me. And then there was another piece of advice that he gave me. He said to me, don't be afraid to fail. He said, be afraid of not trying, because at least when you fail, you know how far you could get, and you can try it again and will get there faster because you already have the tools too. And so now I don't get afraid. Like, I just go, and then if I hit a wall, I take a step back. Let me see what got me this far and what went wrong. And then attack it from that way and correct that way and go a little bit more further. So it's just, you know, those two things have really, really stuck with me as far as personally and in my business life. Because in business, if you don't risk it all, you won't have a reward. I'm just saying. I mean, it is what you just got to go for it. When I say risk it all, you got to throw all your fears away. You've got to throw all your doubts. I don't care if it's halfway done. I don't care if it's, listen, I started in my living room, okay, and in my kitchen tie-dyeing. All right. Awesome. Tie-dye everywhere. I mean, you know, hanging it up, hanging it over doors to let it dry. My house literally looking like a mini factory with my youngest sister in there. I am not, like, when people are like, what? I'm like, yeah. My hands were always discolored because they were tie-dye everywhere. I had body butters that I was making because I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to do shit. Like, I just wanted to see something. Something's got to work.
Right. I'm just gonna keep throwing rice at the wall.
Y'all gonna
Something's
start
gonna
liking
stick.
something. Y'all gonna like something. And actually, you know, there's something else that I live by. All it takes is for you to be right one time. Right? And when George Floyd, rest in peace, got killed, because let's call it what it was a cold blood murder. I made a shirt the very next day because it moved me how so many people that didn't even look like me was like, okay, this is okay. Now we see what you guys have been saying for such a long time. Now we see. And I think me being a mother and hearing him cry for his mother, I think that changed like a lot of people.
Yeah.
And to see how moms were like, oh, hell no. I was one of those moms. I was at home. Oh, hell no. I got to do something, right?
Yeah.
And so I was scrolling on Pinterest and a quote was up there. And it was a long, lengthy quote. Jackson, turn that back on, please. It was a long, lengthy quote. And basically it said, Black lives matter, Black tears matter, Black pain matters. I posted that the next day. Pew! I literally was getting over 100 orders a day for 3 weeks straight.
What?
I had to take a 2-week leave from my job just to complete the orders.
Girl, I've got cold chills again.
I was like, holy shit,
it's amazing because, like you said, you had something to say and you said it, and people.
And that's why I'm never afraid to move, because that moment right there showed me, and it took me that one time to be right. Now, when I put out stuff, I don't really worry.
Right.
I worry because I have goals and I have expectations. You set goals for yourself as a business person, especially in the clothing industry. You set goals. You want to sell a certain amount because that's how you buy.
Right.
But sometimes I even wow myself. Like, oh, they really rock with me. Like, yeah, they really rock with the kid. Like, and I did it all by being me.
Which is
I think the second time I was right was during the election when it wasn't about selling anything, right?
Right.
I purely was like entertainment. Like, it was totally, that was one of the best moments of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me tell you, the election season with you guys on Facebook,
I could not
wait.
One of
the best moments of my life.
Like, I couldn't wait to hop on your lives. I'd be like, oh, Kourtney's going live. I got to see what she's saying. Let me get on there. Like, I didn't even watch the news. I watched Kourtney. Like,
oh my God. Everybody, girl, people would be texting me. Oh, I saw someone on CNN, but I had to ask you first. Is this true? I need to verify. No, girl. My aunt called me one morning going crazy like, is it true that the vote's not in yet? I said, calm down. Did you not see my post last night at midnight when I told y'all what was going to happen? Yep. I said Atlanta.
I called
Detroit. I said Philadelphia. And I said, Pittsburgh, do your thing. I'll see y'all in the morning. And I said, what happened? What happened? I said, well, y'all can listen to me. Like, I had so much fun. I completely lost my voice. Right. I didn't care. I was staying up all night just to update you guys. Like, I was so into it. When I tell you that those 2 weeks was the best 2 weeks of my life, girl, that was the best 2 weeks of my life. I felt like at that moment, I had genuinely built a community, right?
Yeah.
That I was like in charge. I was like, let's go, guys.
Let's go.
What's gonna I would go on my rants. I went back the other day. I'm sitting in my bed, right? I said, I am batshit crazy. When I was talking about Donald Trump and his kitten heels and his extra long tie and his 90s swoop bang, I said, why didn't anybody stop me? Like, I was a plum fool.
Y'all just let me go on my.
Like, I was like, y'all just let me go there. Like, I was like, nobody. I mean, absolutely not. I said, Daddy, even my own father was coming on the live talking about just start cursing already. Like,
let it out.
I mean, when I tell you that was probably the best time of my life with my Facebook community, I got pure joy. Like, it was pure joy.
That's awesome, though, that you have like a lot of people, entrepreneurs and business owners, don't realize how important a community is. If you don't have that community, people want somebody and something to relate to. And if they feel like they can relate to you, then you're getting that different connection, and you're going to have a supporter for life. Like, you just are.
Because they look at you and they see themselves in you, and they can
Exactly.
I've had so many, even with me sharing my journey with Jax, right?
Right.
And even when I have my serious talks, because I do a lot of those too, because I do think it's important that we have conversations about these things.
Right.
And when I empower us as parents, because I think and this is no shade to my mom whatsoever. She did a great job raising us. But I think sometimes the pressure of girls being so like, oh, we have to be so perfect, right? Because they didn't have the tools. And two, because the world has evolved now.
Right.
It's different than when they were raising us. It's different when they grew up, right? It's different when they were raised. So we have to change certain things that have been embedded in us that aren't always maybe positive, or change or be more open to certain things. And I think especially in the Black community, we shunned away from talking about mental illnesses and disabilities, because even back in the day in slave time, if you had a child with a disability, something was wrong with them, and they mistreated them, and they were like considered no good, right? And I think that was a stigma that kind of passed through generations, and we never broke it. And now it's like my generation is like, oh, hell no. We're going to break this thing, because we're going to right this ship. Our parents did the very best that they could, and we give our hats off to them, and we salute them, and we thank them, and we love them, and we're so gracious for them, and we show them grace, right? But we instill in our children something a little bit different. Mm-hmm. And with me opening up those types of conversations on Facebook, girl, I have gotten, my inbox gets flooded with women saying, oh my God, you have made me change how I parent.
That's awesome.
You have made me look at it in a complete different way, to be more loving when I'm teaching them, to be more, it's okay to be upset, but go be upset by yourself. And then come back to your kids. Right. And deal with it later, because sometimes Jackson knows when he's doing something he's not supposed to. I might not be in the correct headspace to get him together, as I tell him. So instead of getting him together right then and there, I wait until I can talk to him and we reenact what he did. And I say, this is not okay. Okay. We're not doing that today, sir. Like, right. Let's wrap it up. Like, and he understands it, because I'm not coming from a place, I'm coming from places, I told you not to touch my phone. We're not going to touch my phone. Okay. That is not okay. And have them say it with you. Now, every now and then I might have to pluck his little finger so he knows that
I'm serious.
Don't touch it. Right. I'm serious with you. I mean what I say, but we don't have to be so angry with our kids. We don't have to discipline from a state of anger.
Right.
And those are some things that I want us to change, with how we do as just as a whole. Because I even struggle with it too, because we get tired,
Oh
right?
yeah.
We get tired as hell. And we might have had a really bad day. But I know that there are times that I may like Jackson, and then I realize I've hurt his feelings. But as his mom, I have to understand he's a person
Right.
with feelings. And he happens to be my child. I need to apologize to him and acknowledge mommy is sorry, because that is not how I speak to you. Because in turn, you are teaching your children to be accountable for what they say and how they make people feel. And to understand it is their duty to go and say, I'm sorry. And to correct their behavior, and I think that's something else. Parents, it's okay to say you sorry. Like, it's okay.
It is.
We don't always get it right. We can be assholes too, We don't always get it right. So those are a lot of women have really reached out to me saying, oh my God, you have really made me look at myself.
That's awesome.
And really have made me love on my children just a little bit more. And I say, don't make them afraid of you. Make them afraid of consequences. Not of you, but of consequences. Because if they're afraid of you, then something really bad could be happening or something really important they need to tell you. Right. And because you didn't make that safe space to let them know, you don't ever be afraid of me. Just afraid of the consequences that come with bad choices. And that way you can kind of help them maneuver through things and maybe help them make less mistakes. Now, they're going to make mistakes. They're kids. Hell, you got to. That's the only way you learn, right?
Right.
You're going to have to bump your head. And a part of tough love is letting them learn on their own in some instances. But we really have to start coming more from a place of love and inclusiveness and understanding that, okay, this is who my kid is, and accept it and say, okay, how can we make you better? How can we magnify this? How can we make you blossom to be your best self? And so even moms who struggle with I've even had a few moms, which is so crazy, that have older children that are struggling with their children having same-sex relationships and identifying with the opposite sex. Now they don't identify with being a boy. They identify with being a girl. And they're like, I thought it was the end of the world, but then I hear what you have to say, and you're right. Because regardless, if your son chooses to wear pink nails, right? Okay, then let's go get a manicure together and let's get the best pink nails I can get you. Like, who am I to say? Right. If this is what makes you happy, who are you hurting? And who says a boy can't have pink nails? That's just the way that I feel. And we have to grow through that in love. And our kids will be just so much better. This world would be so much damn better, honestly, if people would just mind their damn business and let people be. Or whatever these,
That's what I say all the time. As long as you're not hurting anybody, like, why do people care?
AKA these pro-lifers, okay?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, make me understand. How can you be pro-life, but when they get here, you don't want anything? You don't want to help take care of them. You don't want to help do that. Like, let's not go there, right? And little do people know, abortions are severely on the decline because women are choosing to not even have children anymore. Women are choosing women are choosing careers over relationships now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I even had this conversation with somebody not long ago about contraceptives being free. And if they want to eliminate abortions, then all contraceptives should be free. And someone argued me, oh, well, you can go to the health department. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to give you my personal experience with contraceptives. They make me gravely sick, like throwing up at 4:00 in the morning. Okay, so the only kind that I can take is a very specific one that is expensive, and it's not free. So you're telling me that my option, like if I couldn't afford it, you're telling me my options are to take the kind that makes me sick all day long, or go without. But then you're taking away, the other medical procedure it's just insane to me. insane to me.
I took birth control one time, and it made my hair to start fall out in chunks, like bad. And you see, I have a head full of hair, and it was coming out. My edges were coming out, and some around the back. And it was like kind of like making me like have mood swings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this ain't for me.
Mm-mm.
I'll pass, you know.
Yeah. I had
But
the IUD.
Viagra is insured though, covered by
Right.
insurance though.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I had the IUD put in after my 9-year-old. It's probably been about 5 years now that I had it put in, and I bled like the whole entire time, the whole entire year that I had it. I would call them. It'd been months, and they're like, "Your body's just waiting to regulate. Yada yada yada. It'll go away." It never went away, and it got to the point to where like I didn't even care about living anymore. It was making me extremely depressed and weird, and I didn't feel like myself, so I had to have it taken out. But I'm just like, it's insane.
I mean, this is the problem right here. You see what I'm saying? Like this is like, because it's not even supposed to happen like that. Like that's not. We shouldn't be living in a society where women go through this. No, this is not okay. Like this is not okay. Just like postpartum. Mm-hmm. My doctor literally had to call up my insurance and basically curse them out and say, no, this girl is not well.
Yeah, she needs what she needs.
And she can't function coming to work unless y'all want her to mess up everything she possibly can. Right. If that's what y'all want to do, then I'm going to send her back to work. But when she loses it on y'all, like, I mean, she had to get stern. She literally had to pick up the phone and call them and say X, Y, and Z. And if y'all don't approve this, you do know that you're liable for whatever happens to her. And she's like, and I will make sure that you guys are aware, because they wanted to give me shock therapy. Girl, I was a mess. I was a hot mess. Okay. Yeah. I was not functioning well. All I wanted to do was cry. I would take care of Jackson, but all I wanted to do was cry. That's it.
And that's another thing that there's not enough awareness about is postpartum depression.
Oh God, it's really not.
How real it is.
They think you're supposed to just get over it. You're being over emotional. You're being this. No, I just can't help it. And I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Yeah. Like, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why, like, when my son was born, they put him up on me. I didn't cry. Mm-mm. Like, I didn't. I said, okay, I fed him. And I said, I'm going to sleep. Y'all take him. I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. That's exactly what I said. And I'm sure my mom and my sisters were like, what? Like, I was like, I'm going to sleep. I asked my dad for a steak dinner. And I was like, I'm hungry. I want to go to sleep. Like, yeah. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. And I was I was literally.
It's real.
I didn't really start feeling connected to him for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I would do for him. I would take care of him. You know, I would rock him. I nursed him. He was right there with me. I was going through the motions though.
Yeah. That's how I was with my
love with my child. Mm-hmm. I wasn't like, oh, I love my baby. He's just everything. Like, hell no. I was just like, okay, wipe his ass. Let me put him in the bath. Da-da-da. He's cute. Let me snap a picture. Let me change his clothes just to do something. Boom, boom, bam. And that was it. And then one day I was sitting on my mom's couch with him, and his complexion had started coming in, and it was rolls on him, and he was sitting in the corner of the couch, and he smiled at me. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was been obsessed with him from that moment, right? But then I still dealt with myself. I didn't think I was a good enough parent. I didn't think I could do it. I did not think I was going to be a good mom. I did not think so. And that drove me crazy.
Right.
It made me question everything that I was doing. I even almost contemplating signing him over to my mom for a little bit and let me go get help and figure it out. But then it was just like, a little bit of time went around, and then one day it snapped, and I was like, wait a minute.
I got this.
This ain't me. Like, this is not the fighter. This is not, I ain't no punk, and so that's how I started working out.
That's
I had to
awesome.
get my body back. I had to take my life back. Because I was depressed. I moved to Atlanta and I lived out of boxes in my apartment for a whole year. That's how depressed I was.
Wow.
His room was all set up. Mine wasn't. And I was just going through the motions. And it took me till about, he was like maybe 2.5 to really start to come up out of it and start to feel like me. And, it takes time. It just does. It really does. And it's hard work. You've got to release a lot of things, and let a lot of guilt go, forgive yourself for what you think is supposed to be, and being okay with not being okay.
Right.
And telling yourself it's okay that I'm not okay.
Right.
And doing that will allow you to give yourself grace. It'll allow you to give yourself grace. So, motherhood is tough, girl.
It is. And it is. And so with that being said, I have one more question for you.
Sure.
And then we will wrap it up so
All
I
right.
can get back to your precious little boy.
Little Jack.
Little Jax. We like to talk about stepping into our own power and not thinking of that as a bad thing. What do you think of, or how would you describe the power that you have and try to step into every day?
That's a good one, girl. I know my power is my voice, and I am a natural born leader. I know that. But it took me a while to understand it. And understand that everybody's not going to be comfortable with that. But it is not your job to make them comfortable with it. And know how to use it, right? So I had to learn how to, and it's crazy because as a woman, you got to have a balance because of society. Jackson, stop. Because of society, they'll say, oh, she's being a bitchy black woman or a bitter black woman when you're just passionate, right? Oh, she's loud when she's just passionate, or she's just whining because she feels. Jackson, stop. Can you turn that back up? Turn that back up. Thank you. Turn it back up. Turn it back up. Thank you. Thank you. Can you go? Can you go, please? Thank you. And knowing that I had a voice, knowing everybody wasn't going to be comfortable with it, and being okay with that, right? And knowing that because you are a leader, everybody is not going to be happy with the choices that you make as a collective of whoever you are leading. And understand the responsibility with that. But part of it is you must serve. And that is what I had to learn. I had to learn the service part more so than anything. I could be a cheerleading coach all day. Jackson. Jax. Okay, stop. Stop, please.
We're almost done,
leave it alone,
buddy.
leave it alone. I could be a cheerleading coach all day. I can take it to the promised land. I can get the best out of any cheerleader. I took a group of girls who had never cheered before all the way, and they end up getting number 4 in nationals. And everybody was like, how? And I'm like, because I just know what to do. I got the sauce, right? But when you're charged to be a different kind of leader, right, for really like a whole community of people, my son has taught me how to serve. I had to service his needs over mine in order to figure what it is out and to make him be able to be comfortable with being himself and to communicate with me. So in that, and the more I stepped into Seventh and Bond and became more vocal and things on Facebook, I realized, I said, okay, I have a voice. And people are drawn to me. And I have to accept it because it was eating away at me. Like, right?
Yeah.
Do I want to step
So
out
much
here and be
pressure.
like, okay, do I want to come out here and say, okay, I'm an advocate for this, and you're gonna listen to me, and guess what? You're gonna buy into it too. You're gonna believe in it just like I am, because you're gonna see how convicted, how convinced, and how I'm gonna lead you to understand what it is, whatever this greater purpose is, right? And it was just me and God in the bed, and I'm laying there, I'm talking to him, and I realized, I was like, I have to serve people, but I have to serve people with educating them and empowering them. Because when you water, right? When you water other people, those other people begin to water you back. And before you know it, while you're watering individual people, you're building a garden. And your garden is blooming and you're shaping, because now the water is overflowing everywhere. And that made me say, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to step into my power and I'm going to use it for the greater good. But it takes a process. Because, yeah, you're born. There are certain things that a leader is just born with. And that's charisma. That's just what it is. You have to be charismatic. And outgoing, bold, all that great stuff. You're just naturally born with it. But as you go along, you can either not really be a good leader, or you can be one for the people, aka like, the Barack Obamas of the world, who really, I love him for the hope factor. And that's what I want to do. I want to give hope to people that are like my son, of course, or disabled, or even people that are like me, people that find something similar in me, that like, oh my God, I understand. I feel her. I stepped into my power so people like me can see if I can do it. Yes. To see if I can do it, you can do it too. Are you going to say hi?
Hi.
Okay. If I can do it, you can do it too, right? Against all odds. And then also, just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't go after your dreams, right? Doesn't mean that you don't have a purpose, because I think that is a myth, that moms can't do this, you can no longer do that. No, yes, you can. Actually, your children make you want to do it bigger. They make you want to do it better, because you want to make the world a better place for them to live in. You want their lives to be better than what you had. You don't want them to struggle. You want them to walk into abundance when they get older. You want them to be able, because unfortunately, there are talented children out here, but because they don't have the access to this stuff to really cultivate and nurture their gifts, sometimes there's a million Michael Jordans running around here. They just don't have the access to be at a D1 school.
Right.
So I say all that again to say this. Stepping into my power was accepting my purpose. And accepting my purpose was actually finding what it was and saying to myself, okay, this is it. I thought it was going to be this because I thought I was just going to be this bomb ass clothing designer. I thought, this is what it was going to be. I was going to be on my billboards in magazines for my clothes. And yeah, that still may be, right? We're not counting that out, right? But I'll probably be in magazines more for being the mom. The mom who self-taught her kid, when they told her no, who left her job to give her kid a better life and to change the world person by person, book by book, right?
That statement right there.
And I just had to really say, okay, I'm going to take on this weight. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. That means, yes, I'm sure people will reach out to me to public speak. Don't be afraid. That is going to challenge me and charge me to bring people into my home, to bring people into my daily life, and to accept some of the criticism that will come along with it. Right? Some of the nasty things that may come, it may not. We don't know, but I'm ready for whatever comes my way. And so I really can say, I guess just recently, I recently stepped into this and saying, okay. Because I really had a dream that I was talking to God and we were sitting on a rock in the middle of the ocean. And he told me, he said, your passion project is your clothes, but your purpose is your son. And I accepted it that night when I woke. I was like, oh my, like, okay.
Oh, man.
Like it was crazy. And it's probably something, I don't know if I'll ever have that again in a lifetime, but I know a lot of people can't say that they've had that type of dream where they could tell you exactly what it was, and to actually see God himself. I could tell you exactly what he looked like he was the most beautiful man ever. I mean, the curliest hair, and his voice was so smooth. And I wasn't nervous. I wasn't anything. And he just simply was like, this is your passion and you'll do well. But he said, this is your purpose. Your purpose is your son. You were made loud for a reason. And I need you to use it because there are people suffering that are just like you and him, that need you. And I was like, okay. And it's part of it is accepting it and saying, I'm going all in. And that's just that.
Oh my gosh. So amazing. So I want to thank you endlessly on behalf of our team and every single person.
We have to do this again. Listen.
Yes. Who heard your story?
Again. No.
I'm here for it.
We have to do this again. We are so for it. Girl, you got me wanting to do a podcast.
Yes. You should.
You're like, to do this again.
Yes, I'm totally after the book releases and we see it just soar, I'm gonna have you back on and we're gonna talk about how amazing this is for you guys. But yes, I want to thank you on behalf of every single person that heard your story and connected to it. After this podcast, I will be heading straight to my easel and I'm gonna be creating a painting that represents what I personally felt and saw from your amazing story.
I can't wait.
Yay! If anyone is interested in seeing the process and getting one of the few limited edition prints as a reminder to step into your own power, you can follow us on Instagram and we will continue the story there. Also, I will link Kourtney's 7th and Bond, and then I will link the pre-orders for the book, right?
Yes, it will be on Amazon soon. Pre-orders will close on Sunday, and then about a week or two from there, once I tell them, okay, you can go now live, because it's actually ready to go live.
Awesome.
But I wanted to get his signed copies out of the way because I know a lot of people are asking about it.
Yes.
And then once I tell them, I said, they said you'll have the books pretty quickly. Once I get those out, then I'll let them go live on it and you'll be able to purchase it on Amazon. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, me too. So I will get that link for you guys as well. So you will have access to that and access to Kourtney's 7th and Bond. I'm going to give you the Instagram links and our website links so you guys can check her out. This has been amazing. I can't thank you enough for being on tonight.
The pleasure. No, actually, the pleasure's been all mine. I love it. I just like sharing, our story. And then just a little bit more about me, because I know a lot of people are like, okay, but who is she? They're kind of like, who is this woman? What is she doing?
Who is this woman?
What is this woman? We see her. She's funny. She has all of these things going on, but who is she?
This is going to be awesome for you.
I want people to get to know me a little bit more.
Wow, what an amazing story. Am I right? If you personally felt connected to Kourtney's story and you would like to purchase the limited edition print that goes along with it, you can do so at jessicajames.com. That's JESCAJAYMES.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at I Am Power Club. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you can hear next week's story of I Am Power. See you then.